Good morning. Welcome to the Kila Chari Torah Halacha Review for Wednesday, the 10th of March. We're going to start talking about the steps for the Seder here. We'll try to get through them in a brisk fashion. We have outlined and have sent to every household and also put up on our website a step-by-step guide for preparing for the Seder. However, we haven't included the steps of the Seder because those are printed pretty clearly in most Haggadot. So when you look in the Haggadah, you'll have the instructions there. Of course, if you have any questions beforehand, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Although on every other Shabbos and Yom Tov you're allowed to say Kiddush and eat a meal while it's still day, in order to add from the mundane, from the weekday to the holy on Pesach, we're not allowed to do so. We emphasize each year that we should be making Kiddush once nightfall happens, because all the mitzvahs, drinking the 4 cups of wine and so on, of which Kiddush is the first, eating the matzahs and the maror and so on, should be done at night. So we do not, where it's possible to avoid, we do not begin the Seder earlier. Now this year, of course, it's required because it's Shabbos, and of course we're not going to begin our Seder. Not only preparing for our Seder, we're not going to begin celebrating the Seder, going through the steps of the Seder, working the Haggadah through on Shabbat. We're going to wait until it's over, which I believe is 8:23 that week. The mitzvah of eating matzah must be performed at night, and so on, and they give sources for that, and I'm not going to go into elaborate depth with that. It's a custom, a mitzvah even, to distribute nuts and almonds and similar entertaining things to the children, so they take notice to change and ask questions, and they'll stimulate them to ask reasons for eating the matzah more and reclining. Boys and girls who have reached the age of training for mitzvahs, you decide what that is, who are able to understand the holiness of Yom Tov and understand what's being told about the Exodus from Egypt, should also be given their own cup of wine or grape juice from which they should drink. It's customary to fill an additional cup of wine, and that is called the cup of Eliyahu Hanavi. Now you notice he says that here at the very beginning. So there are sources that say that at the beginning of the Seder, when you fill up the first cup of Kiddush, already to fill up the cup of Elijah. Many people put the cup of Elijah, Eliyahu's cup, on the table and don't fill it until after Birkat Hamazon, when they're getting ready to fill the 4th cup. Others have customs to do it even later, I believe, or by Shvoch HaMascha, right after Birkat Hamazon. So he does mention it here because there were many Jews from Europe who did fill the cup much earlier in the Seder. Of course, we do at our house, we do it after Birkat Hamazon when we're filling the 4th cup, and probably others have a similar custom. A servant, if you have servants, or a member of the household, if you have those, should fill the cups. That each time the cups are filled, should be filled by someone else rather than you doing it yourself. This is what's called derech cherut, the sense of freedom. Of course, if you have only 2 people, you could each fill for each other, or if you have 1 person, you'll fill for yourself, and you won't miss out anything by doing that. Each person should be instructed to drink at least a greater part of their cup, each time the majority of the cup. And the 4th cup, hopefully they drink a revi'is. They drink, like we said, about 2.9 ounces, 3 ounces or so, at one time. And we have in mind to fulfill the mitzvah of drinking the 4 cups and of telling the story of going out of Egypt, eat matzah and maror, men and women alike, because we are all required to engage in these mitzvot. We were all saved from Mitzrayim. We're all delivered from Egypt. We recite the Kiddush, as it says in the Haggadah, and drink the wine reclining to our left side. Best, if possible, to follow the opinions of all the authorities and to drink the entire contents of all the 4 cups. Just one footnote, I think, that he doesn't mention here, because he didn't detail the laws of candlelighting. So candlelighting is going to be, as we said, after 8:23. The candle should be lit from a pre-existing flame. You could certainly use the gas jet on your range if you have a gas stove in the house. However, if you don't, then you should most definitely light a candle, a 24 or even better, 48 or 72 hour candle before the onset of Shabbat, so that you have a pre-existing flame to light from. We're going to have a little bit different Seder this year. I don't think he says it here, so we'll have to go through that. What did I want to say about that? So if someone lit candles, either a man or a woman, doesn't matter, whoever lit the candles, if they said Shechianu when they lit the candles, they omit Shechianu from being said at Kiddush. You say that 1 time per evening. Now, since this is Motzei Shabbos, it's the end of Shabbat, and I think we did touch on this a few weeks ago, the order of Kiddush is a little bit reversed. It's called, the mnemonic to remember it is Yak Nahaz, Yayin Kiddush Ner, Havdalah, Zman. And the brachas go as follows: Yayin, Borei Pri Agafen, Kiddush, Asher Kiddushan Mitzvah Ratzavanu, Mekadesh Yisrael V'Hazmanim, Havdalah. There's a paragraph that says in your Haggadah that says on Saturday night recite the following, or at the end of Shabbat recite this. That bracha, the uncommon ending of Hamavdil Ben Kodesh LeKodesh. God distinguishes between the sanctity of Shabbat and the sanctity of Yom Tov, two different levels of holiness, but nonetheless two distinct ones. And Ner, sorry, we forgot Ner in there. Right before Havdalah should have been Ner. It's very nice to have a braided candle to look at when you are making this bracha. So if you want to go over to Bathurst Street and buy one of the special braided candles, you're welcome to do that. However, if you look at the candles that have been lit when you make Kiddush, that is perfectly sufficient to say the bracha of Borei Me'orei Ha'esh over those lit candles. If you have the braided candles that are lit there, that's wonderful. We don't burn them out. We don't spill wine over them or burn them out. We let them burn out on their own through the course of the Seder. Yayin, the wine, Kiddush, Ner, the candles, Havdalah, the paragraph that says, probably in a gray box there, for the conclusion of Shabbat, and Zman, we bench Shechianu, make the bracha of thanking God for giving us life, sustaining us, and bringing us to this holiday season. That is the order of Kiddush for the first night. For the second night, it's, as we said before, just the regular, omitting the Ner and the Havdalah blessings, because it's no longer Motzei Shabbat. Okay, we'll continue talking about these steps tomorrow, so please do join us then.